Sylvia, and I am currently a graduate student here at the University of Guelph. I'd like to welcome you to the College of Business and Economics convocation ceremony this morning. The University of Guelph is honored by our graduates, and we take great pride in this convocation. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the proceedings today. The ceremonials used for conferring degrees have evolved over a millennium, and the gowns and hoods represent that history. In general, the gowns for the baccalaureate and the magisteriate degrees are black, and the color of the hood is different for each degree program. The doctorates at the University of Guelph have a bright blue gown, and the honorary degrees are red. The University of Guelph crest that you see on the curtains behind me and on your convocation program also represents our specific history. The emblems in the crest show links to the royal city of Guelph through the stallion above, the connection to liberal arts through the book, to the sciences through the astrolabe, and our connection to abundance in agriculture through the cornucopia. The University of Guelph motto, Rerum cognoscere causas, is a quote from Virgil. It is variously translated to be either, happy is the one who is able to ascertain the reason of things, or perhaps to know the meaning of things. The procession of people into the hall are also influenced by ancient tradition. The piper will herald the start of the procession of graduates, the students who are coming to graduate today. This will be followed by the arrival of the mace, leading the platform party. The mace is a symbol of authority and of the university and will be carried by the beadle. In medieval times, the beadle was chosen by the instructor to work as an assistant. Today, the beadle is a ceremonial officer of the Senate. Following the beadle and mace is the chancellor and president, members of the administration and honorees, fellows of the university, members of the board and senate, and members of faculty and staff. The degrees will be conferred in the order that you see in your program. These degrees are separated by categories representing the specific degree being awarded within the college. The name reader will present scholars to the president and chancellor by degree category. As the name of each student is called, the beadle will place the hood over the recipient's shoulders. This moment will be videoed, and technology willing, there will be a simultaneous live cast of the event to allow family members and friends to watch from a distance. The president will greet each student at center stage, and a photograph will be taken. We understand the joy and excitement that accompanies such an auspicious occasion, but we ask that you hold your applause until after each group of graduates has crossed the stage. There will be an opportunity for a truly thunderous applause. Once all the degrees are conferred and all the cheers are cheered, the chancellor will close the ceremony and a recessional will play. Please remain standing during the recessional until all of the platform party has processed out of the hall. Our colleagues from Alumni Affairs are hosting a social media program developed especially for convocation. Please share your photos, advice, and memories with graduating students by joining us on social media and using the hashtag GuelphGrad. Finally, may I be the first person to congratulate the graduates on their various successes and offer my congratulations to the family and friends who are here to support them. Welcome to the convocation at the University of Guelph.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Well, on this day of recognized achievement, we pause and reflect on our place in this world here in Guelph. We acknowledge the Attawandaron people on whose traditional territory the University of Guelph now resides, and we offer our respect to the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe and Métis neighbors. Today marks the end of a journey. We give thanks for the friendships that have been created along the way. We are grateful for all those who have supported and come alongside of us. Faculty, staff, mentors, and families, for we could not have made it on our own. At this time, I invite you, each in your way, to take a moment of silence, to reflect, to recognize that for which you are grateful, or to offer a prayer. As we step into a new tomorrow, may the knowledge that we have gained here be coupled with wisdom and infused with compassion and clothed with humility, that we might contribute to the flourishing of all humanity, that we might embrace the forgotten, enhance the sustainability of all things, and fully discover what it means to be human. May grace and peace abound. You may be seated.
Good morning. I am delighted to officially open this 2017 University of Guelph Convocation ceremony and welcome everyone here. President Vaccarino, members of the board, honorary fellows, faculty and staff, family and friends of the graduates. Today, as we celebrate the achievements of our graduating students, I'd like to offer particular welcome to our convocation speaker, Fred Praise. He'll be introduced to you shortly. My name is Martha Billis, and I have the honor of serving as Chancellor here at the University of Guelph. And what an honor it is to be here today, back at the University of Guelph, my alma mater. I think back to when I was in your shoes, proud to be a Mac Institute graduate and anxious to take on the next challenge around the corner. Problem is, we do not always know what is coming or how we're going to get there. Today, I want to instill in you a belief my dean, Margaret McCready, instilled in me years ago. She was full of advice, but most often said, "Remember, ladies, you are Mac girls and Mac girls can do anything. And she was right. I stand before you today to proudly and confidently tell you that the education I received here gave me the wherewithal to go out and strive beyond what I thought I was capable of. Since the days of its founding colleges, the University of Guelph has been a leader in practical education, focused on the whole person. The university has fostered an environment that encourages its community of students to aim higher, to make things better, to be more productive, to turn preconceived notions on their head to make a difference, to improve life. My education opened up doors and offered windows on the world I could not have imagined. Half a century later, those things are still happening here at this fantastic institution. Graduates, your windows are waiting. It's your turn. Your turn to make a difference and to improve life for ourselves and for others. I know you can do it because you are, after all, a University of Guelph graduate, and you can do anything. Good luck to you all. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Franco Vaccarino, and I have the honor and the great privilege of serving as the president and vice chancellor of this great university. Well, graduates, this is your big day. You've worked hard, you've persevered, and you've made it. Well done, well deserved. Think fast. Think fast. We've all heard that expression. You don't often hear anyone telling you to think slow. Think slow. But my main message today is twofold. Think fast and think slow. As a psychologist, I'm interested in cognitive sciences and neurosciences, and speaking as well as a parent of university-age children, I believe your minds are basically a little different from those of your parents' generation. We see how you absorb information, how you interact with information and through information technology. Young people are very, very, very good at coping with lots of information and shifting their attention appropriately. Your brains have fundamentally adapted to a very fast-paced world. Today, we are navigating a river of knowledge, one that is growing larger and flowing faster all the time. New ideas are coming at us at an absolutely unprecedented pace. New innovations, new ways to connect the dots, new ways to understand this world. We need to process more and more information in the same amount of time. We need to think faster. We might call that fast thinking reactive thinking. Reactive thinking is a sort of tactical thinking. It's what helps a driver navigate the twists and turns of the road from a moment to moment, on a moment-to-moment basis. But of course, there's another kind of thinking, a reflective thinking, a slow thinking, you might call it. Takes a more strategic view, takes the broad view. Not that I'm suggesting you think more slowly in the literal sense. I'm talking about a different way of approaching a problem, a different kind of thought than tactical or reactive. In our fast-paced world, universities are increasingly important places for both kinds of thinking. Reactive or fast thinking that addresses the now, and there's plenty to deal with in the now. But also reflective thinking that rises well above the here and now, and to take the long view and consider the broader context, to consider tomorrow, consider the day after. As students at the University of Guelph, you have benefited during the past few years from an environment that has challenged your own thinking, an environment that nurtures freedom of thought, as well as expression and inquiry. an environment that promotes and supports openness to new ideas, one that invites varied perspectives, different perspectives on a problem or on an opportunity. We've tried to encourage you to exercise both reactive and reflective thinking. We've stressed the kind of thinking that enables you not, of course, just to provide the right answers, but importantly, to ask the right questions. We've looked to nurture thinking that is disciplined and thinking that is interdisciplinary, that draws upon diverse experiences, diverse points of view. That kind of thinking, I do believe, is ever more important in a world where the challenges and opportunities that we face are larger and more complex than ever. Now, big problems and big opportunities need lots of minds thinking together on solutions. Not just like minds, but unlike minds. Unlike minds from varied backgrounds, from different perspectives. There's a proverb that's one of my favorite proverbs. I think it's an African proverb, and it goes something like this: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Well, you're about to explore and discover the next phase of your lives, including, I hope, finding ways to improve life for others around you and in the wider world. So go together, think fast, and think slow. Thank you very much.
I am pleased to invite Fred Prees, Associate Chair of Accounting, to now give the convocation address. Fred?
Good morning, everyone. I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk to you today. Given that I was introduced as the Associate Chair of Accounting, I suspect that those of you in the room who are not accountants are dreading having to listen to me droll on about accounting for the next while. And those of you who are accounting students are probably dreading it even more. Good news is, I'm not going to talk about accounting today. What I want to talk about is music, and in particular, Blue Rodeo. I don't know if you know Blue Rodeo, but I was at one of their concerts earlier this year. Great band, and as I was listening to the concert, I was thinking about what makes them such a great band, and I came up with 5 things. So I thought I'd share those with you. You can think if they apply to your favorite band if you're not familiar with Blue Rodeo, or whether they might apply in other ways in your life. First thing that I noticed was that each of the band members brought something unique to the band. Jim Cuddy is a great singer. Greg Keeler is a great songwriter, even though most of his songs seem to be about bad relationships he was in the past, but that seems to be the way it goes. But great guitar player, great keyboard player, great drummer, great bass player. All of them bring something different to the table. So that was the first thing that I noticed. Second one is, Blue Rodeo's been around for a long time. I think it was their 30th anniversary tour. And they've honed their skills over the years. When you listen to them, each one of them is very good at what they do. So they've honed their craft along the way. The third thing is they communicate well. And that may seem odd when you're thinking about a band because they're playing and they don't seem to be talking to each other. But during the course of the evening, different members of the band take a solo, and those solos are not scripted. Whatever that person feels like doing that night, they do. But that creates a problem for them. They have to find a way to communicate with each other because the rest of the band has to know when to come back in. And so they communicate not by talking to each other, but in other ways. So the person who's doing the solo has to let the other people know that he's just about done. And they do that by changing the way they're playing, maybe some nonverbal cues, and the rest of the band has to listen carefully so that they catch those cues and come in at the right time, or the whole thing turns into a mess. So they communicate well. The fourth thing is that they support each other. When one of them is taking their solo, the rest of the band doesn't go out in the back and have a beer. They might want to, but they don't. But they're there. They get out of the way so that that person who's got the solo can be in the limelight. But they're there supporting them, playing in the background, making sure that it all goes well. And the fifth thing is that they share the spotlight. So when you watch Blue Rodeo, Jim Cuddy and Greg Keeler tend to be out front a lot. But as the show went along, the lead guitar player got a solo, got their chance to be in the front, then the keyboard player, then the drummer. I was getting a little worried about this last thesis of mine because we were getting near the end of the show and the bass player was in the back playing along, just doing their thing, and the show came to an end. So I was going, uh-oh, my theory didn't hold. Then they came out for an encore. Bass player played in the background, they left the stage again. Then they came out for a second encore, and the bass player got their solo. So everyone got their chance, even though it took a while for the bass player to get there. And it struck me that those things made for a great band, but a band is just an organization. And so I think that advice can also apply to you as you go forward and work in different organizations along the way. So my encouragements to you are, first, figure out what you're uniquely good at. I believe that everyone in this room is better at something than everyone else in this room. So figure out what it is that you're particularly good at. Second thing is hone those skills once you've figured out what they are. Today is not the end of your education, it's just another transition point. Keep learning and honing those skills over time, and you'll get better and better. Third, be a good communicator, not by talking at people, but by actively listening to others on your team and responding. Fourth, support others when it's their turn in the spotlight. And finally, be prepared for when your time comes up, because it will come up. You will have the chance to be in the limelight and be ready for it, even if it takes till the second encore. Last couple of words I'd like to do is just share another thought from a Blue Rodeo song. Those of you who know it might recognize the chorus. Those of you might not. Don't worry, I won't sing it for you. But it goes, don't you know, you've got to try, try, try. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you with you today, and I hope each of you has a wonderful life. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Priest, for those inspiring words and I think probably good advice. Good morning, I'm Charlotte Yates. I'm the Provost and Vice President Academic of the University of Guelph, and it gives me great pleasure to ask the graduating class to please rise. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University of Guelph, that they may be admitted to their various and several degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I confer the various and several degrees vested in me. I hereby accept you for admission to your various and several degrees with all the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto.
Thank you. Will members of the graduating class please be seated?
Good morning. My name is Julia Christensen Hughes, and I have the distinct pleasure of being the Dean of the College of Business and Economics, and I am so pleased to be with you all here this morning. Proud family and friends of the graduates, I'm sure you will be excited, perhaps even a little relieved, certainly happy to see your graduate walk across the stage and be greeted by the president. And you may want to express your emotions in some audible manner, perhaps a Yahoo. This is fine. Please go ahead. But may we ask that the general audience hold your collective applause until after the presentation of each of the degree programs. Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Business and Economics, that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Commerce. Sadman Ahmed. Irina Antspova. Gordon James Aris. Nagash Aramaja. Salvatore Asta. There we go. Brendan Christopher Boehm. Russell Ballram. Spencer Barker. Stacy Jean Helen Barker with distinction. Amolek Singh Basi. Jacqueline Ann Bedard. Miriam Begum with distinction. Christopher David Bernard with distinction. Joshua Bertini. Michael Corey Bibla. Lindsay Jean Marie Brown. Craig Edward Burdett. Jacob Allen Burke. Joseph Matthew Capern. Congratulations, Carducci. Joshua Nicholas Carducci. Mitchell Joseph Carter. Tommy Chaco. Chen Young Chen. Mitchell George Coburn. Daniel Thomas Crawford with distinction. Kirsten D'Souza. Yi Du. Alexander Sebastian Englert. Jose Fernando Figueroa with distinction. Mark Fisher. Graham James Fuller. Christoph Garbos. Aravind Greason. Mark Grant with distinction. Matthew Hall. Jenna Juliet Hayes. Dean Heliotis. Trevor Henry Heisler. Brandon Jacob Hunter. Sydney James Hutton. Alexander Jameson. Ekamjit Kandola. Pradnya Karambelkar. Christina Kazemi. Umama Naveed Khan. Alicia Klapatsky. Vladimir Kondratov. Adam Kormos. Vivian Lamb. Chantel Lamarche. Xiang Li. Seth Macy. Justin Matchtinger. Jacob McClellan. Devin Maney. Samuel Michael. Thank you. Samuel Michael McCovnick with distinction. William Marquis. Adam Jason Martin. Derek McKenzie. John McKenzie. Amy McCarricker with distinction. David Michael McPherson. Warren Ross Melanson. Ryan Michael Merchant. Robert James Morris with distinction. Christopher Motilal. Kaylee Murphy with distinction. Harmon Kaur Nanan. Tekla Natsvalishvili with distinction. Jill Laura Nevin with distinction. Kenrick Surfan Ung with distinction. Keyshawn Patel. Nolan Daniel PC. Adrian Perrick. Zachary Pettiplace. Adrian Pudkosh-Shenlin. Daniel Wakas Kazi. Jonathan Jordan Rankin. Congratulations. It's okay. Victoria Lee Rapp with distinction. Congratulations. Matthew Joseph Rebello. Matthew Riggs. Andre Rajewski. Roy Shaw. Do you want the A? Connor Roy Shaw. Andrea Salignac. Isaac Sandler. Zachary Nicola Saracini. Dylan Coburn Wallace Sale. Adrian Scala. Fiona Smith. Sayich Soul. Jazz Karan Somal. Scott Alexander Sopel with distinction. Nathaniel James Stein. You don't want these? Okay, congratulations, Luke. Luke Stevens. Congratulations. No, Warren. Well done. Reed Stewart. Congratulations. Well done. Ethan Edwards. Ethan Edward Sweeney. Congratulations. Eric Evaristo Tosser. Congratulations. Arul Thukral. GE2. Christopher Vanderpool. Max Van Dyke. Adrian Van Elsberg. Michael Walker. Gordon Thomas Walmsley. Kieran Williams. Brandon Tyler Wilson. Marcus Woodstock. Scott Matthew Yoshikuni. Yu Zhu. Chen Zhang. Please join me in congratulating all of these wonderful scholars. Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the School of Hospitality, Food and Tourism Management that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Commerce. Sharon Jing Xing Hung. Austin Joseph Lamb. Yali Yu. Tan Yu Yu. Ninyi Zhang. One more time, please join me in congratulating all of these scholars.
Madam Chancellor, I would ask you to confer the various and several degrees on the graduates listed in the program, but unable to be present at this ceremony.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I confer the various and several degrees in absentia on the graduands not present.
Well, graduates, you did it. Congratulations. Well, let me take this opportunity, graduates, to welcome all of you now to the Griffin alumni family. As you can imagine, this is a growing family. This week, more than 3,400 new graduates are joining that family. At the University of Guelph, alumni now number more than 125,000 graduates around the world. As you can imagine, we're very, very proud of all your accomplishments here at the university and look forward to seeing how the foundations that you've developed here as students will continue to support you in the months and years ahead in your own futures. We want to celebrate your achievements, your successes, and really do hope that you will stay in touch and remember that you're always, always welcome here. Graduates, you've made, I'm sure, all sorts of memories here at the university, including today's ceremony, and maybe you could remember this as well. You are a student for a short time, but you're a Griffin forever. Congratulations. So that concludes our formal convocation ceremony. The College Dean will host a reception for all graduates and their guests in Creelman Hall right next door here. This really is an opportunity just to mingle, congratulate the graduates, and we do hope that, that you can attend. And now the final word is from our Chancellor. Thank you.
Convocation is dismissed. Yes.
Congratulations, everyone. We know you're going to go out and do interesting and great things. We hope you'll come back often and share what you've been up to, maybe at homecoming, maybe at alumni weekend, or anytime you feel like it. We're going to ask a couple favors so that the eager families waiting to see their students graduate can have the hall prepared for them. We're going to ask you to exit from the sides doors at the front here, students first, family second. When you're outside, enjoy some time, get great photos with your family and friends, and when you're done, please return your gowns and hoods to the tent so the next group can look as good as you do. Now I'm going to ask you to turn it up one more time just before you leave. You ready? Graduates, you did it! Woo!